the 12 World War II British and American bombers in Microsoft Flight Simulator. The purpose of this video is to let you know what World War II British and American bomber aircraft are available in Microsoft Flight Simulator, MSFS. I have found 12, payware and freeware, of all bomber types. Please let me know in the comments if there are any others. For each of the 12 bombers, we'll provide a picture with brief details of the aircraft, followed by footage from MSFS, and then some real-life footage. The 12 bombers will appear in descending order of the number built. The MSFS footage will show each aircraft at its airfield of first flight. Let's go! 1. USA Boeing B-17 Flying Fortress. Heavy bomber, 12,731 built, 1936 to 45. First flight, July 1935, former Boeing Field, Seattle, Washington, USA. A fast high-flying tough bomber, with a crew of 10, the B-17 dropped the most bombs during World War II, primarily in Europe. It's the third most produced bomber in history, behind the American consolidated B-24 Liberator and the German Junkers Ju-88. It was also used for transport, anti-submarine, and search and rescue. USA Boeing B-17 Flying Fortress. Freeware, non-military version, props do not work. First flight, July 1935, at former Boeing Field, Seattle, Washington, USA, now KBFI King County International Airport, Boeing Field, freeware. 2. USA Chancefort Corsair. Fighter bomber, 12,571 built, 1942 to 53. First flight, May 1940, former Bridgeport Municipal Airport, Connecticut, USA. With a crew of 1, and foldable wings, for easy storage and carrier use. The Corsair served in World War II and the later Korean War. It had a powerful engine, impressive performance, and distinctive inverted gull wing to provide ground clearance for the large propeller with short, strong landing gear for carrier use. It was rugged and versatile and excelled as both a fighter and a ground attack aircraft, earning the nickname Angel of Okinawa for its success in the Pacific. USA Chancefort Corsair, payware. First flight, May 1940, former Bridgeport Municipal Airport, Connecticut, USA, now KBDR Sikorsky Memorial Airport, freeware. 3. UK Avro Anson. Trainer bomber, 11,020 built, 1930s to 52. First flight, March 1935. Former Woodford Airfield, Manchester, UK. With up to 4 crew, the Anson, known as Faithful Annie, was mainly used for reconnaissance and multi-crew training, including bomber crews. At the start of World War II, it was soon found to be obsolete for frontline combat. It was the RAF's first retractable landing gear aircraft. It was particularly useful for training bomber pilots, navigators, wireless operators, bomb aimers and airgunners, a role it had right through the war and some time after. UK Avro Anson, freeware. First flight, March 1935. Former Woodford Airfield, Manchester, UK. Now a housing estate. USA Lockheed P-38 Lightning. Fighter bomber, 10,037 built, 1941 to 45. First flight, January 1939. Former March Field, California, USA. With a crew of 1, it was the first aircraft to really challenge Japanese airpower, and was vital for bombing escort. It was the only USA fighter bomber produced during all of World War II. It took most of the spy photos over Europe. It was the first American fighter to make extensive use of stainless steel and smooth-jointed aluminium skin panels. It was the first military aircraft to fly faster than 400 miles per hour, 640 kilometers per hour in level flight. USA Lockheed P-38 Lightning, payware. First flight, January 1939. Former March Field, California, USA. Now KRAV March Air Reserve Base, default scenery. For more interesting details on the Lockheed P-38 Lightning, see my video, left-hand side, dated the 22nd of October 2024. 5. USA Grumman TBF Avenger. Torpedo bomber, 9,839 built, 1942 to 45. First flight, August 1941, former Grumman Bethpage Airport, Long Island, New York, USA. The Avenger was designated TBM, instead of TBF, for the many made by General Motors. With a crew of 3, it was the most effective submarine killer, and most widely used torpedo bomber, of World War II. Future American President George Bush flew an Avenger aircraft, the largest single-engine aircraft in the war. Its wings folded for carrier use and easy storage. It was crucial in turning the tide of the Pacific War. USA Grumman TBF Avenger, payware. First flight, August 1941, former Grumman Bethpage Airport, Long Island, New York, USA, now largely a business park. Six. USA North American B-25 Mitchell. Medium bomber, 9,816 built, 1940 to 45. First flight, August 1940, former Mines Field, Inglewood, California, USA. With a crew of 4 to 7, and highly versatile and robust, the B-25 was the most produced U.S. medium bomber in World War II. It was used in the Doolittle Raid, the first U.S. bombing raid on Japan. It was used in all theaters of the war, especially for ground and anti-shipping attacks against Japan. It was able to withstand tremendous battle damage, exemplified by the aircraft nicknamed Patches, which completed over 300 missions with numerous flak holes. USA North American B-25 Mitchell, freeware. First flight, August 1940, former Mines Field, Inglewood, California, USA. Now KLAX Los Angeles International Airport, freeware. 7. UK de Havilland Mosquito. Light bomber, 7,781 built, 1940 to 50. First flight, November 1940. Former de Havilland Factory, Hatfield Airfield, Hertfordshire, England, UK. The Mosquito, with a crew of 2, was nicknamed the Wooden Wonder because of its mostly wood construction. It excelled in World War II due to its high speed, greater than 400 miles per hour, long range, versatility and overall performance. Its versatility included roles as a night fighter, bomber, reconnaissance and pathfinder. It even acted as a wartime airline, flying over enemy territory between the UK and Sweden. UK de Havilland Mosquito, freeware, no instruments. First flight, November 1940, former de Havilland Factory, Hatfield Airfield, Hertfordshire, England, UK, now houses and the University of Hertfordshire. UK Avro Lancaster. Heavy bomber, 7,377 built, 1941 to 46. First flight, January 1941. Former RAF Ringway Airport, Manchester, England, UK. With a crew of 7, and renowned for its superior flying characteristics and its ability to survive heavy damage, the Lancaster carried the largest bombs used by the RAF and was the RAF's most effective heavy bomber in World War II. It participated in numerous famous raids such as the Dambusters, Peenemünde V weapon site, Tippett's battleship, and the D-Day landings. It was particularly useful in the nighttime raids over Germany. UK Avro Lancaster, payware. First flight, January 1941. Former RAF Ringway Airport, now EGCC Manchester Airport, England, UK, freeware. 9. UK ferry swordfish. Torpedo bomber, 2,391 built, 1936 to 44. First flight, April 1934. Former Great West Aerodrome, Heathrow, London, England, UK. With a crew of 3 and foldable wings, it was nicknamed the string bag for its versatile carrying capacity, and although outdated, it was the UK's main carrier-based torpedo bomber at the start of World War II. It sank more Axis tonnage than any other Allied aircraft, including a critical role in the crippling of the German battleship Bismarck. Its slow speed made it vulnerable, but also effective, against less defended targets, and its rugged simple design made it an asset until the end of the war. UK ferry swordfish, freeware. First flight, April 1934. Former Great West Aerodrome, Heathrow, London, England, UK. Now EGLL Heathrow Airport, freeware. For more interesting details on the ferry swordfish, see my video left-hand side, dated the 25th of January 2025. 10. UK short sterling. Heavy bomber, 2,371 built, 1939 to 45. First flight, May 1939. Former Rochester Airport, Kent, England, UK. With a crew of 7, the Sterling was the Royal Air Force's first 4-engine heavy bomber. Highlights included its strength, its excellent handling characteristics, and its maneuverability. Further highlights of the Sterling were the later war adoption for roles like glider towing and airborne troop carrying, after being outclassed as a strategic bomber by aircraft like the Lancaster and Halifax. UK short Sterling, freeware. First flight, May 1939, former Rochester Airport, Kent, England, UK. Now EGTO Rochester Airport, default scenery. 11. Handley Page Hamden. Medium bomber, 1,430 built, 1936 to 41. First flight, June 1936. Former Handley Page Factory Radlett Airfield, Hertfordshire, England, UK. With a crew of 4, the Hamden, one of the RAF's forgotten bombers, was initially designed as a fast maneuverable bomber for night operations, but it was ill-suited for modern air warfare and was withdrawn by late 1942, serving later as a torpedo bomber and for air-sea rescue. It was nicknamed Flying Suitcase for its cramped crew quarters, and Flying Panhandle for its slender, slab-sided fuselage. UK Handley Page Hamden, payware. First flight, June 1936. Former Handley Page Factory Radlett Airfield, Hertfordshire, England, UK, now parkland and other non-aviation purposes.
I name you Hamden.
The new aircraft is a day and night bomber, and her speed compares very favorably with that of the bombers now in service. Her 2 engines aggregate nearly 2,000 horsepower, and her fighting equipment is totally enclosed. The pilot, too, has an enclosed cockpit with an unrestricted field of view.
(12) Douglas TBD Devastator. Torpedo bomber, 130 built, 1937 to 39. First flight, August 1937. Former Anacostia Naval Base, Washington, D.C., USA. With a crew of 3, it was the first all-metal, enclosed cockpit, folding wings aircraft for the U.S. Navy, the largest peacetime aircraft order by the Navy. But its slow speed and vulnerability were exposed early, particularly in the Battle of Midway, so it was quickly replaced with the Grumman TBF Avenger. Prior to Midway, it provided useful service in the Battle of the Coral Sea. USA Douglas TBD Devastator, freeware. First flight, August 1937. Former Anacostia Naval Base, Washington, D.C., USA, now Joint Base Anacostia, Bowling. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed.